This is a rice cooker. And as you might deduce from its name, it is made to cook rice. And this is quinoa, which is not rice. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this in one of these. Hello and welcome to another episode of I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt, and on this channel it is all about empowering you to be a better cook. And today I'm going to show you my favorite way of cooking quinoa. It is not on a stovetop, it is not in an oven, it is in a rice cooker. Now if you found this video, you probably already know a little bit about this stuff. This is quinoa, but just in case you don't, I'm going to give you a quick recap. Quinoa is similar to rice in that it's a grain, but this stuff is just packed with nutrients. Quinoa is an ancient grain. It goes back to the Incas. It was first cultivated in the Andes, they think. And it is just, again, packed with nutrition. They call this a superfood. It has got a lot of really good stuff. It's got protein, it's got minerals. Unlike white rice or even brown rice, this stuff is really, really nutritious. Now, it comes in two forms. It comes in this tricolor where there's black quinoa, red quinoa, and white quinoa, and then there's just white quinoa. You can also buy red or black as well. Really doesn't matter what color you get, quinoa is nutritious all the same. Just aesthetically, if you like a prettier plate, get the tricolor stuff. Now, similar to rice, quinoa really isn't all that hard to cook on a stovetop. It only takes about 15 or 20 minutes. It's pretty easy. But again, this channel is all about making your life even easier with cooking, and that's why I like to just throw it in a rice cooker and let it go. Now, I like to use rice cookers, and I use them often because we eat a lot of rice in our household. And if you think chefs or restaurants don't use rice cookers, that's not even the case. They do. Simply because it's just so easy. You just dump everything into a pot, you press a button, and voila, you kind of set it and forget it. Well, what works for rice also works for quinoa. Here's how to do it. Now, the key to cooking either rice or quinoa in a rice cooker is a secret built into rice cookers that you might not know about. Let me show you it. Do you see these numbers that are located on the inner pot of the rice cooker? It just says cup. This corresponds to how much rice and how much water you will put into the cup. And it corresponds with one of these little cups. If you own a rice cooker, you probably got one of these cups that go with it. This is a little measuring cup, and it is specific to rice cookers. It is actually 3/4 of a standard cup, and this is going to measure out the ratio of the rice to the water. Now, if you don't have one of these plastic ones or you got rid of it, you can buy a replacement. I have a nice stainless steel one that I got at a Japanese store. These are readily available. They're really cheap. You can buy them at a store or online. Here's how to get the perfect ratio of grain to water. In this case, quinoa to water in a rice cooker. This is so simple, and it makes quinoa in no time. So for this example, I'm going to do two rice cooker cups of quinoa. That would be about 1.5 cups of regular quinoa. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use my tricolor, and I'm just going to measure 2 cups. 1 and 2. So I have 2 of these cups worth of quinoa poured into my rice cooker. Now all I'm going to do is pour my water to the number 2 line in this. And that's all you have to do. It corresponds. If you do 3 of those rice cooker cups of quinoa, you fill it to the 3 line. If you do 4, you do 4, and so on. This works with quinoa. This works with rice. It's brilliant, and it's just so easy. And by the way, if you can't find a 3/4 cup, a dedicated 3/4 cup measuring cup, just eyeball it. Just get a 1 cup measuring cup and just kind of fill it 3/4 full. So here's what we do now. We are just going to fill our water to the number 2 line. And there we go. We just did our ratio. Now, if you want it super plain, you could just press on and be done with it here. I do like to add 2 ingredients to my quinoa and rice when I cook them. First off, I like to add a little bit of kosher salt. Again, that's just gonna bring out the flavor. And then I like to add about a tablespoon or 2 of vinegar. Usually I use rice vinegar. I'm actually all out of rice vinegar. I used the last of it last night, but you can use just basic white distilled vinegar. So I'm just gonna pour some in here. We're gonna give it a stir. Put the lid on and press on. Now this rice cooker has settings for both white and brown rice. If yours is more advanced like that, then just use the white rice setting. If you just have a basic rice cooker with an on and off, just press on. So what I'm gonna do now is just press my white rice button, and there you go. That's all you have to do. This is gonna take, I don't know, about half an hour or so. I'll set a timer just to kind of gauge it and let you know, but that's all we have to do. So I will meet you back here in a bit and I will show you the finished result of our rice cooker quinoa. It's been just over 35 minutes and our quinoa is done. And yes, you probably could have cooked this faster on a stove, but again, the beauty of a rice cooker is I was able to do other things while this was cooking. I didn't have to do anything. It did everything for me. So let me show you the results. Look at that. Nice and steamy and beautiful. Now, as with rice, I'm just going to fluff this a bit. Release some of that steam. This looks fantastic. Now, just like rice, quinoa is super versatile. You can use it as a side dish. You can use it as a supplement. You can add it to salads and stews and soups, or you can just eat it as it is. What I like to do is kind of make a little warm quinoa salad out of it. I've added some fresh cherry tomatoes and some parsley. Let's give this a try. This just looks healthy. This just looks like I'm eating something that's really good for me. That is so good. Quinoa, if you've never had it, it's kind of nutty and it's kind of crunchy and yet it's soft. I'm telling you, this is so good. And you won't even know that you're eating something that is super, super healthy for you. And by the way, I should mention the reason that I use vinegar is just like with rice, when you add some vinegar, it helps the grains not stick together and also gives it just a little bit more intensity of flavor. Delicious. So there you go, my friends. That is how easy it is to make quinoa in a rice cooker. If you are not a fan of quinoa already or a fan of rice cookers, here are 2 reasons to become so. Really, really easy. And rice cookers don't cost a whole lot. You can get them for like 20, 30, 40 bucks. I mean, if you eat a lot of rice or grains, they will pay for themselves pretty quickly. As always, thanks for watching I Want to Cook. I really appreciate the support you've been giving this channel. If you are not already a subscriber, welcome. Thank you for watching. Would love to have you as a subscriber. As always, if you have questions or a recipe request, please put that in the comments below and I will try to get to it on a future episode. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, keep on cooking.